To all of my sports subscribers and fans around the world, y'all know I recently just released a video where I did my NCAA bracket predictions and I wasn't able to actually interact with it. So I had to do it on paper, and it was I wouldn't say it was a boring video, but it wasn't as interactive as I wanted. But I got something very exciting for you guys. So today, it seems that ESPN re-released a second chance bracket for the Sweet 16, so you're able to interact with it, and I'm able to make my picks and be able to interact with you guys as I do it. So we are going to be doing that today. I think it is going to be a lot of fun. But before we get into that, thank you guys for the recent support of the channel, and if you do, to keep supporting me, please hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell to get notified when all my videos go live. And be sure to check out the Alpha Podcast below in the description with the links provided on Apple, Spotify, and as well on YouTube. Let's get right into it. Going into our very first matchup, we are going to be looking at Auburn versus Michigan. I know nothing about Michigan. I have not watched Michigan this season. I don't know how they look. I do know about Auburn, though, led by Bruce Pearl. They went into the tournament losing 3 out of their last 4. Haven't really looked so good in the tournament so far. But in my personal opinion, I think Auburn still keeps it going in this matchup. I think just their talent. They had the guy, I cannot remember his name. They had that center. He was in the argument going up as the best player in college basketball, getting that award, but Cooper Flag did end up getting it. But they have him, have a great talented ball club, have a great freshman point guard as well. He would be freshman of the year if Cooper Flag wasn't playing as good as he was. So I think that Auburn is going to get this win, and I have them going to the Elite Eight. Moving on to the very next matchup, we got Ole Miss versus Michigan State. Ole Miss did pull off the upset. I did have Carolina beating Ole Miss. Well, it wasn't an upset because Ole Miss was the better team, but I had Carolina upsetting Ole Miss. But Ole Miss is a great ball club. They're playing great ball. But on the other side, you have a Tom Izzo-led team. He's been there for 30 seasons. He's been very successful. He's one of the most. He is a coach that has been inducted into the College Basketball Hall of Fame. He is one of the best college coaches of all time. He has a great ball club. They're going to be prepared. They're going to be ready to go. I have Michigan State going to win that game. Ole Miss has played some great basketball, and would it shock me if they do win this game? Absolutely not. But I think Michigan State has an overall better talented team, and obviously I had Michigan State in my original bracket going to the Final Four. So it would be hypocritical of me to get a fresh start on a new bracket and be like, oh, so all of a sudden now you don't got Michigan State. Look, I'm keeping it consistent. So let's get to the next game. The very next game, we're going to go ahead down to the western part of the bracket. We have Florida versus Maryland. Florida is one of the best teams still in the tournament. I have not watched Maryland at all. Don't know how good they are. Don't know how good their team is. I haven't watched Florida either, but I've been watching ESPN, been keeping up with it on CBS, been keeping up with it on all the March Madness networks that are TNT, all of them that's playing these games. Well, not TNT, I don't think TNT, but True TV, and all these companies that's been playing the games and hearing the commentators. Florida is a great team. They have that great point guard. I think he's number 1. So they are one of the favorites, top 3 favorites to win the whole thing. So I am obviously being a homer here, and I'm going to take the number 1 seed here. I am going to be going with the Florida Gators because it's Florida. Now, the very next matchup is interesting, though. Texas Tech versus Arkansas. I had St. John's getting deeper in this side of the bracket because I was a prisoner of Ramona, Rick Pitino, the history, been with Kentucky, been with a whole lot of winning organizations. All he does is win wherever he goes. He sets a winning culture. So I thought he was going to be in this dance by now, but they got upset by Arkansas, led by John Calipari. You know, John Calipari has dealt with a lot of crap since leaving Kentucky. He has been upset in the tournament the last couple of years, in his tenure in Kentucky. A lot of people say he probably didn't have that substance as a coach anymore. He goes to Arkansas, and he's doing way more than what was expected of him in this NCAA tournament. So he's in the Sweet 16. He has a great team. I am picking Arkansas in this game. I just think I am riding with the John Calipari magic. I think since I'm going to talk about this in the Alpha podcast, since we really have no Cinderella type teams this year as far as mid-major teams. So I'm going to pick a major Cinderella team, and I'm going to go with the Arkansas Razorbacks. Moving up to the eastern side of the bracket, a very interesting game. A game I am looking very much forward to is the Duke Blue Devils going on up against the Arizona Wildcats. Y'all all know who I'm going for this game. It's Duke or die. We're going to win this natty this year. We're going to get to the Final Four. We're going to get to the championship game. We have the best team in all of college basketball. If we don't win this year, that's going to be a problem. On the other side for the Arizona Wildcats is Caleb Love. He haunts Duke's dreams. He has the last couple of years. He is going to be highly motivated going into this game. But still, brand new roster for the most part. Nobody from the old teams from the Caleb Love regime is still there. The teams that's haunted Caleb Love the last couple of years, so new faces. Duke's not phased. The only people that's still there is the coaches and John Shire, if I'm not mistaken. I'm thinking off the top of my brain as I'm talking to you guys. I don't think there's any players left from that regime or outside of Caleb Foster is obviously one that just came to mind. But active players that are in the starting rotation and playing pivotal minutes for the Duke Blue Devils, they're not part of the Caleb Love regime to where he ran rapid on the Blue Devils. None of them are still active players for Duke. So, but still, from a psychological standpoint, Caleb Love still's got that grit about him, and he is going to go out there and try to beat Duke because he cannot stand Duke. He's still a Carolina boy at heart, so he is going to go out there and he's going to play to the best of his ability. But at the end of the day, I have my Duke Blue Devils beating Arizona. It's going to be a close game, and it's going to be a great game. But in the end, Cooper Flagg and the boys prevail. Moving on to BYU and Alabama. BYU as well, another Cinderella team, technically has put up an upset to a higher seed than them. And Alabama, being Alabama, they are playing great basketball right now. This is a tough pick. Alabama, they didn't play. They had the chance to lose against the team that they just faced in the last round. I actually watched them Saturday. And given the performance that BYU just had in their last game, would it surprise me that BYU would win this game? No. Alabama had to bring in the one of their players that was hurt and wasn't expected to play just because that game got so ugly early. But Alabama has a really star-studded team. But I'm going to go off on a limb, and I'm going to pick BYU to beat Alabama. I just feel like I want to pick some underdogs here because it's just one of those games. Alabama's just not playing their best basketball right now that they need to be playing. Their 15 seed that they just played just gave them a fit. So something about this BYU team feels like they already put off an upset, so why can't they pull off another one? Just want to get some Cinderella teams in there. Does Alabama have the ability to even beat Duke and even beat BYU? Absolutely. But that's my pick, and I'm going to stand by it, and I think BYU is going to get it done. Moving on to the Midwest part of the bracket, we got Houston and Purdue, and I'm going to be a homer here. I'm going to be picking the Houston Cougars. Hometown hero, Kelvin Sampson. I think he's still is going to be consistent with what I had in my first bracket. I have them going to the Final Four up against Duke in the Final Four. Great ball club. Got a lot of the people returning from last season. Cryer, Sharp, all these guys. Great ball club. Purdue's got a great team too. I just don't think they're nowhere near as good as Houston. So I think they get this win. UConn gave Houston a fit the very last game back on Sunday night. But Saturday night. But I think Houston prevails and beats Purdue in a close game. It's still going to be a close game. And the final matchup, this one right here is a good one. I was seeing this before I got ready to make the video, and I don't know who I'm going to pick. This is a great game. Kentucky versus Tennessee. Kentucky's a great ball club. Tennessee is a great ball club. So if I was picking for my life right now, this is hard. This is very, very hard. Again, this is fresh off the bat. I didn't have these predetermined. I'm doing this with you guys. But we're going to go out on a limb here. Tennessee's a great team. Very gritty. I'm going to pick Tennessee because I've seen Tennessee play a little bit, and I've also seen Kentucky play. Kentucky is very experienced, but Tennessee plays hard. They play tough, very gritty. And I think by the end of the game, I think that's what's going to put Tennessee over the top. Does Kentucky have the experience? Yes. Could this game go either way? Absolutely. But I'm just making a pick because either way, I have Houston coming out of this side of the bracket. But if I'm going to pick, let's just have some fun and we're going to pick Tennessee. All right, let's speed up this process a little bit. Let's get right into it. We got the Elite Eight. We're going to keep it short and sweet. I have Michigan State going into this side of the bracket. I already said it. Auburn's having their troubles. I think Michigan State is a great team. Tom Izzo, I had them going into the Final Four. So that is going to be my pick. Auburn had a great season. I just don't think they're playing their best basketball. And their star player, he's going to have to get them over the hump, led by a freshman guard. But can they get to the Final Four and beat Michigan State? Absolutely. But I think Michigan State at the end will prevail. Florida versus Arkansas. I think this is a no-brainer. Again, Florida's just coming out of the side of the bracket. They're a great team. And they're tough. They're older, experienced. Have a great team. And that's going to prevail. John Calipari, you went to the Elite Eight with that roster, that team, 10 seed. It's a great run. And you're going to have to respect that. I think a lot of people is going to have to respect that. And shout out to John Calipari. You had a great season going into the Elite Eight, but I think it's going to get derailed by Florida. Moving on, there's no question about this. The Duke Blue Devils is going to beat BYU. Duke is coming out of this bracket, and they're going to the Final Four. Well, we're just going to keep that short and sweet. And this side of the bracket, I am also going to be going with Houston. Like I said, I always had Houston going out of this side of the bracket anyways. I just think Kelvin Sampson, they're too talented, and I always had them, again, consistency. I'm being consistent. I had them going to the Final Four. Now, are these the teams that I pick necessarily to make it to the Final Four? Not really. But we're going to get into it. Florida and Michigan State. I'm going to say it by this. I'm going to set this up by the matchup that I want. I want history. I want Tom Izzo, the oldest active head coach right now with the most experience in the NCAA tournament. I want that matchup. So, I'm going to pick Michigan State to head to the NCAA tournament championship. Florida's a good team. Could they beat Michigan State? Absolutely. But I want history, and I'm basing this off the matchup that I want. I want Tom Izzo, a Tom Izzo-led team, going up against my Duke Blue Devils. Kelvin Sampson has a good team, but this is Duke's year. I've said it so many times. I've said it to many people. This is the best Duke team that we've had in a long time. Long time. Well, it's a Duke team that has been the best team in college basketball in a long time. Obviously, the year we went to the Final Four and got beat by Carolina, that was a great team with Paolo Banchero, Mark Williams, and all those guys. Jeremy Roach, Wendell Moore, great team. It's just something about this team. Compared to everybody else in college basketball, this is the best team in college basketball, the Duke Blue Devils. And without a shadow of a doubt, Tom Izzo versus Duke in the championship, just the headlines, the story. Sports is all about stories. What story do you want? A Tom Izzo-led team with John Shire trying to win his first championship for the Duke Blue Devils without Mike Krzyzewski. Mike Krzyzewski has been a part of all the championships for the Duke Blue Devils. John Shire trying to submit his legacy into Duke history, try to start a new set of history, getting away from all the dust from what Mike Krzyzewski. That's a little bit disrespectful to say because Mike Krzyzewski, in my opinion, is the greatest coach in the history of basketball, college basketball. But it's about proving the doubters wrong, not John Shire not being looked at as being under a shadow, and living in Mike Krzyzewski's shadow, not being able to ever get it done with having one of the best rosters. And I think that the Duke Blue Devils are going to prevail, and they are going to win it all, and then they are going to win their 6th NCAA tournament championship. I had so much fun doing this with you guys. I wish we could have done this the first time. I would have made that video super long. It probably would have been 20 minutes long. I don't even know how long I've been filming this one, but I thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about my picks. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I just want any type of active conversation when it comes to this video. And if you enjoyed the video, as always, do not forget to hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, and to tap that notification bell to get notified when all my videos go live. I will see you guys in the next episode of the Alpha Podcast. I am going to be filming it tomorrow, and I got a lot of interesting topics for both my sports and pop culture fans. Again, be sure to check out the Alpha Podcast in the description below on YouTube, Apple Music, Apple Podcast, and Spotify, as well as all my other sports-related videos in my playlist in the description as well. I thank you guys for joining me for yet another video today, and I love you guys so much. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya.